I'm Jacob Soboroff. Welcome to HuffPost Live. This is a HuffPost Live first. We are joined right now live from Gracie Mansion in New York City by the 108th mayor of New York City, Mike Bloomberg, who, in full disclosure, I should say, was my boss when I was in college. I was one of his advanced people. Mayor Bloomberg, how are you? Good to see you.
Jake, I'm good. We've managed to survive without you, though.
I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're okay, Mayor. Mayor, you're there for a reception in honor of Dominican heritage. What's going to be going on at Gracie Mansion tonight?
Well, we'll have something to drink, something to eat. We'll have some speeches. They'll be short. They'll be partly in Spanish, and it's just a good chance to say hello to the Dominican community. We had the Dominican Day Parade last Sunday. I arranged for the best weather of the season. Everybody had a good time. And to show you the difference, in the olden days, all these parades, you'd have big problems with crowds and alcohol and that sort of thing. And today, the parades that we have in New York City, there's none of that. People just have a good time. It's great for the kids. It's great for the adults. And it's a good chance for the mayor to walk with a Dominican flag, some good-looking women on either side. Hola, hola.
Mayor, before we jump into some more substantive questions, I just want to ask, is this the first interview you've ever done by video chat? Is it fair to say?
This is the first, Jake, and I wanted to do it with you. I said
it is an honor and a privilege.
Well, it's our privilege, too.
Thank you. So, Mayor, you just got back from a bit of a road trip. You were in Chicago and you were in Boston. You were with William Daley, the former chief of staff to President Obama, and you were with Rupert Murdoch in Boston. You were talking about immigration and immigration reform. You're outspoken about this issue. You're unhappy with President Obama and Mitt Romney's stances on immigration. Why? And if you had a message for President Obama and Mitt Romney about immigration, what would it be?
Well, number one, you're wrong in one thing. I'm not upset about their stands on immigration. I'm upset because they don't seem to have a stand on immigration. If you think about it, the number one thing everybody talks about is jobs and the economy. A relatively cost-free ways to improve our economy dramatically and for the long term is to have more immigrants come into our country. We need people to start businesses. We need people to take jobs with great skills, technical skill sets. We need people that come in here to this country as seasonal workers so that we can pick the crops. And yet neither of the two people who want to be the next president of the United States starting January 1st, 2013, has anything to say about immigration other than, yes, it's a problem. And even that they say grudgingly. And I went to Chicago and to Boston, Chicago because that's where President Obama comes from, Boston because Governor Romney was governor of Massachusetts. I went and I did a speech in Chicago with Bill Daley, who formerly was President Obama's chief of staff, and he was a Commerce Secretary for Clinton. And he's the brother of Rich Daley, who was a 20-odd-year mayor of Chicago, and the son of their father, who was another 20-odd-year-old mayor, 20 years mayor of Chicago. And then in Boston, Mitt Romney actually did some great things for Massachusetts. He was very well received. People thought he was a good governor. He had a health care plan that actually seemed to work. And today he's not willing to talk about any of this stuff, whether it's guns or immigration. Guns, a good example. Yeah. Both of them said they would try to end get assault rifles off the streets. Romney actually signed a bill in Massachusetts to do so. Obama campaigned on a promise to do so. And just like immigration, nothing once they got into the campaign.
Let me go back real quick. We'll go to guns in a second. But you said, and I have the article up on my screen, and I'm going to zoom in so people can see it. During the Boston Forum, and this is an article that's on HuffPost Politics, Bloomberg, who has belonged to both major parties, called the Republican tendency to oppose immigration changes, quote, one of the dumbest strategies, end quote, he had ever heard of. Why is it a dumb strategy?
Well, that was in the context we were talking about partisan politics. If I were the Republicans, I certainly would not want to walk away from one of the fastest growing ethnicities in the country. And if you think about it, Latinos and African Americans both tend to be reasonably conservative on social values. They actually, on social values, are much closer to what Romney believes, or at least says he believes, than what President Obama believes or says he believes. And yet, both groups will probably vote Democratic. the African Americans, obviously, because of ethnic pride, but Latinos as well. And that in the context of having a strategy to build for the future and building your base, I think the Republicans' position on immigration and the DREAM Act is just bad politics. I happen to think that being against the DREAM Act is bad policy. I happen to think that being against bringing more immigrants into this country is bad policy. But the quote you took out was really talking about politics.